How can LiveU be used in your church to help you with your live stream? What equipment do you need to purchase? What are the benefits of using LiveU over another streaming platform? We'll dive into that today.
This is the definitive podcast for helping you plan, create, and execute dynamic worship experiences at your church. Useful, practical content in the areas of production, worship, communications, first impressions, and more. This is Making Sunday Happen.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much for being here. We've seen an influx of viewers and listeners the last few weeks, so thank you so much for sharing the podcast with your friends. And be sure to like every episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. It comes directly up in your feed. Well, several conferences coming up this fall that I want to make you aware of. I just got back from Design Revival. My friend Alan Smith did an amazing job with that conference. Really appreciate him asking me to come and speak at that event and do a breakout at the beautiful Springer Opera House in Columbus, Georgia. Really cool venue there. Also, next week in Orlando, come down and see us at Experience Conference. This is a worship leader conference. Our team will be there at a booth, so if you are there, be sure to come by our booth and find us, say hello. We would love to talk with you there. We'll also be in Nashville for Kids Matter MegaCon, October 4th through 6th. We serve a lot of people in the kids ministry space, from Awana to Answers in Genesis to Seeds Family Worship and Go Curriculum and Yancey and Doorpost Songs and many others. And we'll be there. It's great to kind of be all in one place with the kids ministry community. So we'll be there at MegaCon October 4th through 6th. CFX in Dallas, October 24th through 26th. We'll have a big podcast booth set up there. It's going to be really neat. We're going to be recording podcast episodes live there at CFX. So if you're there at that event, you'll see all the speakers from the event. You can watch those interviews live, and they will air on the podcast later this fall and into the spring of next year. So be sure to catch that live. It's going to be a really cool thing. We'll have a big podcast set up there. Also, later in the fall, we're going to be doing the same thing at SALT 22 in Nashville. My friend Luke McElroy and his team at SALT do an amazing job putting that conference on. And we'll have another podcast set up on the mezzanine right above the main lobby, interviewing all the speakers and folks there. So be sure to come and see us at SALT. Lots of activity in the fall. So we love seeing you guys in person and hearing what God is doing at your church and in your community. So if you are at any one of these events, please find us. We would love to see you and meet you in person. Well, today on the show, I welcome George Klippel. George is the sales director for LiveU. LiveU could be used in your church for your live stream. I want to give you other tools to use. I know we've suggested tools like Resi and Church Online Platform and things like that, but I want to give you another one today with LiveU. Today we're going to be learning all about what LiveU offers, what equipment you need, some next steps to test and use the platform at your church, and more. So I'll talk with George right after this.
The Church Facilities Conference and Expo is happening in Dallas, Texas on October 24th through 26th. Bring your tech team, communications team, facilities team, and your leadership to learn and grow together at the largest dedicated conference and expo for church teams. With education, training, and solutions to support the vision and mission of your church, CFX is the place to connect with other church leaders, experts, and solution providers all in one place. Use promo code 1230, that's 1230, to get $75 off your full conference registration. Don't miss out. Register today.
Hey guys, today I welcome George Klippel. George is the sales director for LiveU. LiveU is an end-to-end live video platform that you can use for streaming your worship experiences or other streaming events at your church. George, welcome, man. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Carl, I am so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Me too, man. I'm so thankful for your time and just the availability that you have to get together. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your role there at LiveU.
Sure. As you said, my name is George Klippel. I'm Director of Channel Sales. at LiveU. I've been here about 6 years now, just over 6 years. Really love the company. My background is in production and broadcast. Before coming to LiveU, I was at Avid Technology for just over close to 10 years or so. And I spent a little time in academia before that. I worked at Carnegie Mellon University and Case Western University. I was also at a reseller partner for a few years. So a big technical background, but I love working at LiveU and enjoy this industry.
So you said Avid? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Avid Technology.
So Avid, the video editing software Avid, or
that's the
along
one
with other products. So I cut my teeth on Avid years and years ago as a junior video editor coming into a big international ministry. Avid was the first video program that I used, and with the colored keyboard and all of it.
Yeah, I did the same. I cut my teeth on it as well. Well, first I cut my teeth on a Grass Valley editor and switcher, but I moved. The first time I saw Avid was back in 1992 on one of the very first old generation ones. And the first time I saw it, I fell in love with it and nonlinear editing in general. And I still cut on Avid from time to time today, even. So I still love working on the product.
So talk to me about LiveU. It's being used in the broadcast space, the sports space, and also obviously houses of worship and church, all for streaming, right? So give me kind of an overview of the company and the products.
Sure. LiveU has been around since 2006, and we cut our teeth in the broadcast industry. That's where we really first started. We have a massive market presence in the broadcast space, but we've also branched out over the years, and our biggest, second largest market vertical, if you will, is sports, as you mentioned. But along with that, in what we refer to as the channel, the department I'm responsible for, we have all of these other verticals like post-production, and we have corporate, and we have house of worship and education. And LiveU is really used for end-to-end, getting video from point A to point B. It's IP contribution. People refer to it sometimes as bonded cellular, but what we're doing is we're using our technology and our patented LRT, what we call LiveU Reliable Transport, and taking multiple cellular modems that are in our encoders and Wi-Fi and Ethernet, and bonding all of those connections together, putting them all together to make one big fat pipe, if you will, to the internet, and allowing you to transport your audio and video in sync in perfect synchronization from one location to another location. And that other location could be in the cloud to a CDN like a Facebook or a YouTube or a Bright Cove or some other cloud-based destination, or back to a control room in a physical environment to a decoder we call LiveU LU2000 or 4000 server. And that physical server would then output a SDI signal or maybe an NDI signal into a production environment. So that's what we do. We're getting a reliable, rock steady video and audio in sync back from point A to point B. And that's what we're all about. Now, we have a lot of production tools around that, but that's really the core focus of what LiveU is today.
So one thing that I thought of when you were saying that is campus to campus when it comes to church world. So, as churches are opening up multi-site campuses and in different physical locations, either around their city or around the country or even international, and then their online experience as well. But I'm really thinking about that campus to campus situation where you can broadcast the message or the service in its entirety to another location, pretty much live on the spot and in sync. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is. And it's funny that you mentioned that. We have so many churches and houses of worship that have multiple locations now. It used to be just, one church, one solution, one encoder, and that's all you needed. And the pastor would go outside those four walls of the church, which is our strength, right? It's not just streaming just to get, to the folks that can't get into the church anymore, but it is for those folks that have multiple locations. But you're 100% right on. It's getting other locations to come back to the main location, or being able to go out from the main location to multiple locations. And even more than that, LiveU is allowing those multiple location facilities to have not only just receive the Sunday presentation, but it's also to allow to have maybe special guests that would be in the other location and have talk back and comms back and forth, and things that, traditionally you hadn't been able to do before. We allow that to happen very seamlessly today.
So I worked for a church years ago that we had multiple campuses, and we actually drove physical drives. So like we did the early service, recorded that message, got in a car with a, protected, nuclear football, and drove it over to the other location, synced it up during the worship music time, and synced up the message because there was a middle screen and two side screens, and that's how we did it. That's how we had to do it. But one thing I love about what you guys do at LiveU is that is no more. I mean, you can digitally take that and move it over to the other campus. One other thing that you mentioned that I really like is you could interview or have some type of capture from one campus and actually drop it into the live service of a campus in another location, correct? You can come all around.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much you can do today with campus-to-campus communication, and it's not even what's fun about this is that you can bring other campuses in too that aren't even connected with your campus. You can bring somebody. Let's say you're in Illinois and you want to bring a guest lecturer or a pastor or somebody or a special guest that's in California. You can do it so easily now with bonded cellular, and it's really it's phenomenal. And we have things like video return, and we have super great audio connection. So again, it's like being there. It's better than Zoom. It's better quality. It's higher connectivity. The quality of the audio connection is just perfect and seamless. So your congregation and everyone gets to feel like they're right there within the same building as that other person. And doing Q&A and things like that with your congregation is something that you can do now that you really couldn't before in any reasonable way. And it's wonderful because you're streaming a high quality stream back and forth between the two locations or even multiple locations. You're getting very high quality video return with one-to-many guests. And you can, use different technologies that we might even be talking about a little bit later, called air control, even to bring in these guests. So it's a lot of fun with what you can do and expand upon just, way more than just a simple streams that's, sending your pastor out to, Facebook or something like that.
Right. Tell me about the equipment that I need. If I'm a church, what equipment do I need to purchase?
Sure. There's a lot of options, but if you cut it down to the basic fundamentals, LiveU requires three simple things that you need. You need an encoder, you need a decoder, and you need a data plan. Those three things, that's all you need. And the encoder is what you connect to the back of a camera, HDMI or SDI. Those are the inputs we take in. We work with virtually every camera that's out there that feeds that type of signal to you. In addition, we'll take the output of the switch. So let's say you have a multi-camera set up at your church, and you're already going into a switcher like a TriCaster or Blackmagic or who knows what you're using. We can actually be the transport and connect to the output of a switcher, so you can do a switched feed, if you will. And then the data plan is what's transporting that to a output. And that could be a server, a physical server, or a cloud-based server. And one of the big things that we've done this year, in particular, we announced at NAB, is moving to the cloud. So much is moving to the cloud. In the beginning, when I got here six years ago, we had a cloud infrastructure that output RTMP. RTMP is, a cloud-based infrastructure for streaming to a lot of destinations. Almost everyone will take an RTMP feed. But now, as of NAB just a few months ago in April, we're able to stream and output RTMP and MPEG-TS and SRT and even NDI now. And a lot of churches that I visit with and talk to love the TriCaster, that new tech TriCaster device. And now you can use a cloud server and stream straight out to NDI. But really, getting back to your question, what do I need? I just need an encoder, a decoder, and a data plan, and I'm off to the races.
How do I install it? Can I install it myself? Do I need you guys to come out and put it in for me? How does that work?
You know, what's funny, Carl, is in the beginning, I thought for sure, a church would need and require a lot of our services to come out and do that. We have a professional services team that will come on site and do it. We have a virtual installation team that will do it virtually with you. But most of the houses of worship that we work with and organizations that we work with have some pretty technically sophisticated staff. A lot of them are volunteers even, but they know what they're doing. They've already got technical equipment in there and installed, and our stuff is pretty much plug and play. There's really not a lot to it. The server is the most complicated thing you'll install. It involves some opening of ports and things like that. But if you have your IT person around, you can usually get it done in about 30 minutes. But the encoders are really plug and play. You plug them in and they're designed just to go. And we have a lot of online training that's available to our customers that our professional services group and that have put together. So I think you can get by without using our team to come in and help out. But if you need it, we're there for you.
So what are the benefits of using LiveU over another streaming provider? Why would I go with you guys?
Well, we have about 65% of the market share. So being the 800-pound gorilla is always a good thing. But the biggest reasons I hear people want to use LiveU and they come to LiveU is A, image quality. We seem to always win in the image quality shootout, right? Whenever we go head to head with a competitor. B, we have longer battery life than almost anyone out there. And that's really important, especially when you go outside of the brick walls of the church, right? Because if you're in the church, you're going to be plugged in, right? But a lot of people have summer service that's outside and they go out into a field and they do a summer service and there's no power outlets, right? And other people will go out with their waffle leagues or children's groups, or they'll go out with the pastor and he'll do visits in hospitals and things like that, where you're just running on battery. And we have the best battery life out there compared to many, if not all of the other encoders out there. Plus, we have our LiveU Reliable Transport, which is our patented LRT, which does a lot of, I don't want to go too technical here, but I do know you have a technical audience. So we do packet ordering, forward error correction, acknowledge and resend, and a few other things that in a nutshell, it just makes sure that when we convert everything to IP packets and we send those things across the internet, that they arrive at your destination in sync, on time, and perfectly synchronized. And that's really, really important. So those are a couple of the reasons that people come to LiveU. And it's last but not least, it's our world-renowned 24/7, 365 support. Our support team is amazing. It comes with the product when you purchase it. It's 24/7, 365 overnight RMAs if something busts. And, whether you're a church organization, whether you're a sports broadcaster like Major League Baseball or NBC News, everybody loves 24/7 support, believe me.
I'm sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me the cost. Get me in a cost range, because I'm sure pastors and church tech guys, production directors listening, that's going to be the number one thing on their list is how expensive is it? What am I looking at spending?
Yeah, well, the good news is the LiveU management team recognizes church groups as a nonprofit organization, and we have excellent discounts for nonprofits, 20% off of our list pricing. So right out of the gate, you get a significant discount, and you can expect the LiveU products to start somewhere in the area of around, on the lowest end, around $750, and go up to, on the very highest end, around $18,000 or so. and everywhere in between. And it really just depends on the size of the organization and what they're really looking to do. There are some organizations we work with that they just do a simple lockdown shot with one camera, and they just want to get the word out. They want to just get the word out to the homebound and the people who can't make it into the pews that week, and that's their only mission, to get the word out, to get it on the church's Facebook page, and that's all they want to do with one camera. And then there's other churches that have bands that are playing, and they're doing 4-camera shoots with high definition cameras, running it through a switcher, and they have much different needs and have a much different budget, right? A much larger budget. So, yep. But we have kind of products that fit into any kind of needs you're looking at. And it's not just encoders and decoders either, right? We have things like video return and tally lights, and we have all these other production tools that you can even add into the mix. So we really can address any church, from the smallest size church that's out there to these big, what people sometimes refer to as mega churches, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of like the range of prices that you could be expecting from LiveU.
Talk to me about air control. What is that? We mentioned it earlier. What is that, and how can I use it?
Yeah, so air control is really all about, it's like an orchestration tool, if you will. It's designed for live production workflows. But think of it as this: it's a replacement for Skype and Zoom and Teams. And a lot of organizations and churches will have guests come in sometimes, and you know this yourself. I'm sure they'll want to have a couple of people come in and have talks and bring them in, and they're all using different pieces of technology. And some of those technologies they're all video conferencing technologies. They're not designed to be broadcast technologies. And air control is designed from the ground up to be a high quality, robust, reliable broadcast technology that replaces all of these other video conferencing technologies, if you will. And so you have a LiveU environment that's built in already. You have a server, you have all these other things. And essentially you can send out and use air control to give a experience to your audience and to your congregation that unlike they've never had before. So all of your guests that would come in would be coming in at the highest quality, 1080p video, so high definition video. They'd be coming in perfect video and audio synchronization. They'd be coming in a way that you wouldn't have to. For example, you could send out air control. You send out links, a thin client or a thick client on a Mac, where they could just actually open up a browser, not have to install anything, not have to learn anything. You actually can send them video return or even teleprompter. So let's say your pastor was off-site and he wanted to have a teleprompter of something. You could send a teleprompter feedback to them, or even video return. There's guest rooms or what we call green rooms, where you could have multiple guests maybe queued up. Think about it as like in the Oscars, where you might have a group of award recipients waiting to go, and then another group waiting to go, and then they're going to kind of rotate in. So you're setting up a show, designing a show with air control, but it's the highest quality that you're going to get, the best audio you're going to get, not worrying about dropouts and things of that nature. And it's really all about having this, through the cloud, working this in an environment where you're inviting guests in to your congregation in a much better experience for your audience. That's really what air control would do for houses of worship.
Good. You guys just acquired EasyLive.io a few months ago. What is that, and how does that integrate into LiveU?
Yeah, so EasyLive.io is a graphics company, a cloud graphics company that does editing and allows you to do many things in the cloud, including graphic overlays and a whole bunch more. And we just recently acquired it. We're still in the very, very early phases of adopting it into the software and how we're going to build it into the LiveU infrastructure. It's really exciting for us at LiveU, this acquisition, because it's we see it as one of those things that is going to add a lot of value to not only the professional products and the solo line. It's going to just really give us some things that we've never been able to do in the cloud before. So we're really looking forward to what that's going to play out as a new addition to the LiveU product line. It's still in the early stages, so I don't have a lot of details about what that's going to look like just yet, but it's an amazing product, and I encourage anybody to take a look at it.
Good. As we close today, if I'm a church that's interested in using LiveU, give me some next steps. Where should I go can I test it out before I use it, see if it's a good fit for my church, that sort of thing?
Yeah. We actually have wonderful demo programs. We have an excellent rent-to-own program. You can rent the gear for a week or a month, and if you like it and purchase it after, within 60 days of your rental, we actually credit you the entire rental back at no charge. You could contact me directly, George Klippel at LiveU. My email is george@liveu.tv. You can go on our website and go to our reseller page and find the closest reseller to you, and they will work with you on getting a demo set up. You could do it that way as well. So we have a couple of different ways that you can get connected with LiveU and see how it might work for you. Absolutely.
Yeah. George, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time and all this information. And giving churches, some different options to use, some different things to think about when it comes to their equipment and how they can live stream and make their not only church online experiences a lot better, but their whole just experience in general across the board. So, man, thank you so much for your time today.
Carl, thank you for having me, and have a great day.
Hey guys, Grant Murphy here from the 1230 team. For years, we've worked with some of the largest kids ministries in the country. Folks like Awana, Answers in Genesis, Seeds Family Worship, Yancey, Doorpost Songs, Go Curriculum, Grow Kids, Worship Team Kids, and more. We've taken our experience working with these ministries and launched an entire kids brand called 1230 Kids. With this brand, we have launched an entire ready-made media library, completely dedicated to children's pastors and leaders. In the library, we're producing hundreds of mini-movies, countdowns, games, kids series boxes, packs, social media content, and much, much more. If you're a ministry that serves lots of churches yourself, we offer custom media services to bring your projects to life and can produce about any graphics or video need you may have. We are also committed to bringing you free and affordable training to help you enhance your kids' worship experiences. With our Kidmin blog, books, and other resources that are bringing you knowledge and ideas for leading experts, church staff, and volunteers in the trenches of kids ministry. Tell your kids leaders about us today. Tell them to go to 1230kids.com. That's 1230kids.com.
The show notes for this episode are available now at makingsundayhappen.com.
Well, hey guys, thanks so much for joining us this week. Remember to hit that like button, share this episode with your friends, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. Also, be sure to rate and review our podcast on your favorite podcast app if you have the time to do that. Well, don't miss next week as the family pastor at Mount Horeb United Methodist Church in Lexington, South Carolina, and a member of our 1230 team. My friend Trevor Miller will stop by. Trevor was one of my first guests on our podcast. We've been friends for a long time. He leads the team there at Mount Horeb and also does an amazing job with our team at 1230. He writes a lot of our scripts for our ready-made media content and custom media. He's a great writer on our team and does a lot for 1230. So I'm really excited to have Trevor on the show next week. We're going to be talking all about sermon prep and some great tips that you can use when preparing your sermons for the week. Well, go out there and create some amazing worship experiences this weekend at your church. I'll catch you next week.
Making Sunday Happen is a production of the ministry of 1230 Media. For show notes, archive episodes, and more free resources for your church, visit makingsundayhappen.com.